Hi and welcome to The Brighter Side with Rosie. In this video we are making a delicious dessert recipe that is completely plant-based, super good for you, and can be used in 4 different ways. Let's get started. The very first way is a cookie. It is delicious, can be used as like a breakfast cookie or a little snack in the middle of the day or at night. Actually, there's a lot of caffeine in this from the dark chocolate, so maybe not at night. Either way, it's super wholesome for you and easy to make.
The base will be banana base, so you're going to need overripe bananas. The more overripe they are, the better, because they'll just give your cookie a much sweeter taste. And then we have all the other ingredients. You could add whatever you like. I've got oats, pepitas, sunflower, cocoa nibs, dark chocolate, and coconut. For the dark chocolate, I've used 95% by Lindt. It just so happens to be vegan, but you can totally omit the dark chocolate if you want. I blitzed mine into teeny tiny pieces with a Nutri-Ninja. Into a standing mixer, add your bananas and some crunchy peanut butter. Beat with your paddle attachment for about 2 or so minutes until it looks a little something like this. At which point, add in all of your dry ingredients. I have my oats, my pepitas, desiccated coconut, chia seeds, sunflower seeds, cacao nibs, and right at the end I added in my chocolate chips. A link will be listed in the description box where you can find the full recipe to this tutorial. If your batter is looking a little bit too wet, you could add in some more oats to dry it up a little bit. Keep in mind it is sweet enough already thanks to the bananas, but if the people you're trying to please have a really sweet palate, you can add in some maple syrup, but it doesn't really need it. Once all the ingredients are mixed, grab a little bowl, roll it between your hands, and then flatten it out on your baking sheet lined with baking paper. Shape it and then press it into some desiccated coconut. These cookies will not actually expand in the oven, so you can fit them on the tray as close together as you like, and then pop them into a preheated 180-degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. You'll know when they're ready because the desiccated coconut on the cookies will be nice and toasted. Let them cool completely and then store them in an airtight container for about 5 days in the fridge, or you could freeze them for up to a month. However, these are really delicious, so I don't think you'll need to freeze them. You'll eat them all up in no time.
The second application of this recipe is my all-time favorite, and I call it the raspberry compote chocolate pie.
Rather than creating little discs for cookies, I am lining the bottom of a springform pan. This is an 8-inch pan with that same batter. Create about a 2-inch thick barrier along the outside and then bake that off at 180 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. For the filling, combine your coconut oil, maple syrup, and vanilla. The only other ingredient to this is now your cacao powder. This is raw organic cacao powder that I've used. You could use cocoa, but it's just not the same. Try to go cacao if you can find it. Fill the mixture into your pre-baked base, and then into the fridge it goes for at least 4 hours or overnight. Once it's set, remove the springform pan and the baking paper at the bottom. I think most people forget the baking paper, so just keep that in mind. Place on your serving tray or plate, whatever you like, and then create the compote. Pop some frozen raspberries into a saucepan on medium heat and squeeze in some orange juice. The orange juice is there to add a little bit of sweetness. You could use applesauce or even maple syrup if you like. Once it's all melted and broken down, I like to add in the chia seeds with the heat off, and then I let it sit there for about half an hour until it's cool or cool down enough to be able to add it into our pie. Add it all the way up to the rim. If there's any leftover, you could easily just use it as regular jam, and then flatten out the base with an offset spatula or the back of a knife. Add on your decoration. This is some of that muesli that we're going to make later, and some fresh blueberries. This was an absolute winner for my family. We demolished it in under 2 days, just delicious. You can set it in the fridge and keep it there for about 4 days covered. In a cake box would be best, nice and airtight. And you can serve it just as is or with some coconut cream on the side. If served straight out of the fridge, it will be a little bit stiff, so let it come to room temperature for about an hour before serving.
This next application is a no-bake recipe. So you just follow the steps as you did for part 1. However, now you're just rolling it into balls and making protein balls that are no-bake.
To make these a little bit sweeter, what you can do is add in some pitted dates. chop them up into very fine little pieces and just mix them into the batter. Once you've created your little balls, roll them into some cacao powder, or desiccated coconut works really nicely with this as well. Coming towards Christmas, what you could also do is arrange them on a plate stacked to create a little Christmas tree. Just an idea. These go really nicely with a cup of tea.
We've come to the last application of this recipe, and that is granola. So you could bake this off and just dry it up a little bit to use on your breakfast cereal, on your yogurts, and also on your porridge, which I think is the best application because porridge in nature is usually a little bit on the bland side and needs a little something to dress it up.
To create this, just add all of your mixture onto a baking tray lined with baking paper. Spread it out so it's only about a layer thin, and then pop it into a preheated 180-degree oven for 15 minutes. Halfway through, give it a bit of a spin, a bit of a mix around with a spoon, just to make sure that it's toasting evenly. It should look a little something like this when it's done. One way to highlight the flavor of your granola is by adding in some plain flavored yogurt. I've got some vanilla bean yogurt that is coconut based. Fill the base of your ramekin with the granola and sprinkle some extra over the top. Serve with berries and eat immediately so it retains its nice crunch. Store your granola in an airtight glass jar in the fridge, or you can portion it out and freeze it so that you can have some on the go.
And that is the end of this recipe tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it and you give it a go. Super delicious. If you do, hashtag the brighter side with Rosie so I can see your awesome creations as well. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.